Well, the good days were there. Real Madrid, they needed to beat Juventus, Barcelona, and Valencia. We had a good conversation about that period, Well, Madrid did that. Almost said Juventus at the Barcelona car home, Esa Valencia 4-0. At that time, Madrid were cruising. We were saying Jabi Alonso ball. I mean, in Yamani can't for Jabi Alonso. Right after the Valencia game, or Bordeaux against Vallecano, or Bordeaux against Elche, and also Olympiacos, and Numpo, we come brave because Madrid conceded about 3 goals there. And Madrid for Ebe Bordeaux against Girona. And almost be bow when it's okay, and there may be form no ebeba. And also Tavigo for share and then they've lost again. So after beating Valencia by 4-0, Madrid about 7 games. We need 2. About draw miensa. They've lost 2, and the last 2 the game are omolusu. We'll not talk about the Alaves game because any day H3. But clearly, Enyama Nkoye Enfama Jabi Alonso and Real Madrid. Well, for Manchester City, they needed a response because almost disappointed almost fans in the Leverkusen game. City, it's ne fear now on the by Leverkusen now bought no will lose. So City were chasing for a good result, at least a response to what happened the other time. And of course, what a response are. This is a better response. For Real Madrid and Jabi Alonso, in Comona a bar before the game, no say Jabi Alonso eluso bigger. Maybe Madrid will consider say Omeja no kwai and also Munja no kwai. We enya big loss and one among for susu say no say bebano. But bottom line is say right from the board of directors to the last supporter no omweninje diekoso el Real Madrid. Well, Arsenal and the lead the Champions League table no 18 points. Bayern Munich 15 points. PSG 13 points. Manchester City abetoso 4th. Or 13 points. Atlanta 13 points. 6th position. Inter Milan 12 points. Real Madrid at a 7th position. Or 12 points. Let's go Madrid. And so 12 points. The first 8 for no. Liverpool and started 9th for no more. The other parts. And of course, 2 games but in the BBNC. BB crazy, it's fine. But it is Arsenal there. And yeah, some kids were. And then Martinelli assets a record the beer. That guy, well, we expected Arsenal be Club Brugge, say Brugge the Kenya case beer. But then the amount came and my game was to be brain. Said, and then Arsenal started Christian Nogard, and he can pay us 4 and 5 because we were told he said during Timber we pra. But Martinelli a go, which means to say, Onune the first Arsenal player. Washer goals in 5 consecutive Champions League games because she goal against Bilbao, she goal against Olympiacos, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, and a Club Brugge. 5 at what was so. Congratulations to Martinelli, and of course, Madueke go be a washer no. And then somebody be pray, and the Yababe can want some, and some be pray, and the Yababe can want some. Of course, you know, so this is your usual back to back. Latest sports updates. Mr. So go to you. Subscribe for my face so. Now I enjoy show and some no bebre and ye babe bohun komo. Madrid. Yen shasien feel. And again, me pamcho ye we are. Me wrap up is na me de other parts of the convo diabro because the biggie and so the other side ye be bon komo. And before the senior players ebebono, na Manchester City in Quadano ache Real Madrid in Quadano atsinya almost 4-0. And then I'm game ni be Hesky in Quadano. Omo bogo. Me will say Mike Aidu. Ay gande ni akure onusu bogo. Enti we curious to know some penyimfo so be de here. And I'm Madrid the eba all transfer no koshia omo Barca do omo nim just like Madrid be big game bi asen you see eyo no na Barca na ponko ne di omo nim na supporters na edo omo ba. Ye Rock Stadium mo hu so tifo kese bi boho chese Madrid for no say my Madrid is already attacking chese omo de when they are to Manchester City for na say edro mo so mo ba be show. I mean these are things Madrid normally they do our Champions League game a special night. And attention no ne new kwan say ewo referee ne so because one of the best referees are Clement Tapin. After so fourth referee Frappa me unsana or ye dwuma pa. These are good referees. You know, me pesa attention ebe call musu bebre. Though me see me feel say Antonio Rudiger should have been red carded. Yebeka the amount penalty ne ba ho asam. But later part of the game, Savinho wo Bobby edefa no ho ema ne foul no. Referee no, he was going to pull a yellow card. Oh yes, pulling no sa training sa. I don't know why he didn't do that because Pep Guardiola acquire who complains that yeah man a yellow card, you know. But that was a second bookable offense. Now was some Antonio Rudiger red card. I mean, I want the senior man and the one year. But for Rudiger, dear, no question me woman say Rudiger. See, we enjoy Rudiger a lot, but say cameras our game no bebree. A lot of what Rudiger did, he's been doing it several times, but cameras in coho. And only I things you right from the beginning, just say aggression. City for no, they were too aggressive. It is okay to be aggressive, but when you overdo it, a bigger issue and more of an ocrano. I say behind the scenes, and never no more pim way. Nah, because before the penalty, no, now Rudiger I similar 10 Manchester City. Ediano, they go no crab by no. Nico really go no. Rudiger had the same thing. Pull bit to form. And I just cover the boy. Unfortunately, Tibu Kutua, Konso and a boy hina. One team young control Nico really a carbon is say. And see, I don't understand Antonio Rudiger because it's the aggression area. Chale yo. Name him sometimes he overdoes it because they say we I'm from for so be ama. I know na some Madrid supporters ni be cry say Real Madrid for more player or more na roho. Antonio Rudiger, but any day supporters in common because maybe a Rudiger bobo drew no a roho drew. But Sanya mani bidi. I don't know dear we saying so more and now we had that saying so ye before Manchester City equalized. But no the corner kick he was blatant because just say, and then you bray, and the Halan, ya man, quite my name, bo. Come on. It is good, but me catcher say, and you know, and you are near Sibonism, so the more your name, I'm saying, say, a door swang. Because, to be honest, penalty, ya, Uja for Koyede, say, we now fast will be in this. Fast will be in this. Well, and a Jabi Alonso. Near you I share a lineup because then so lineup almost from random na yen. And that Kylian Mbappe, Yehun was squad in the money so ebio bobby. Uja for at benches are not coach as a coach no only pefe say almost bony but not ordinate na bench na Manchester City for maybe just maybe Fedi Valverde right back, left back, Alvaro Carreras, and then Meniachi boy the ball pa, Antonio Rudiger, and Asensio, 2 center halves. Aurelien Chouamini, Damini Ceballos, Jude Bellingham, and then front three Rodrigo Goes, a starting game no from the right. Vini on the left, and Garcia as number 9. Rodrigo Goes, he's someone I just say. Wasankra Oshia Manchester City or City. After 32 games and not on shall go or the City the dear be and again it was a good goal because they caught Manchester City on a counter break and the City went to me who so and Jude Bellingham a passing but again what shall be Alvaro Carreras a Bernardo Silva G baller or Mukoya Jude Bellingham a passing bono again Nico Reali. He was so concerned about the middle area and Rodrigo Goes man space and Rodrigo Goes go now Nico Real no yes from so he equalized for Manchester City. What I say because City lineup it was quite expected. Says lineup with dancing and one Manchester City for Eddie Bobo. And then Nico Reali, he's had a very, very good game. Very good game. England World Cup, the only Kobom left back the Amahomo. One Jeremy Doku, solid performance. And the Jeremy Doku, or Tete Fedi Valverde, now or Tete Asensio. Come on. He did very, very well. But once the football, they told the be a star bisusu. Because you started game, Madrid seemed to be controlling. And remember, in fact, in the early stages of the game, you started and a Vinicius Junior, Mateus Nunez, no being him say a penalty, only for us to have a review of it. It was a nah. He fouled him outside because even that one, not Vini Kra, no old jubilate on him, a penalty. What I say? If Sataka near insider, maybe why didn't name the KBC? What I say? On the 15th minute, Vinicius Junior Nemu, he was doing a cross ball, a ball. Matisse Nunez Nabache, and also so case. So the elbow and a ball in sa it she say. Patcho what I say, and it is hard and so a buy. But Nini Namuno, I felt to say. Sometimes the City said they need game to be Mikrano from the first minute to 35th minute. City men one shot on target too. Minkai ebi be kai me. But after that, and you first half na City about 5 shots on target. Madrid ni fie no about 1. Into City first half no dominated by Ribino. It was the later part of the game. Because Madrid time na omuba game ni mono. I say they who be biasa, but you game ni na. This is the general statistics. Madrid football 1 shot on target, and this is embarrassing, 16 shots now, boy, and Barca was on target. Manchester City ball 12, 8 of them, and an A on target. And again, congratulations, Thibaut Courtois. Solid performance. It was a 4. Young call the other side. Yen Salah and Samono. Afena umewe meeting until Afena and Samono Boba. I'm sure say next video but banoni full story ni. Okay. Na the Etienne say meet na koso. Send yesika send meeting be koso eneno. Na before meeting no. Na Liverpool former players na start yen interview so. I was so patcho. Yes, on patcho as our grass and yagro. 2 hours before meeting about say commodity Ujafo was so patcho and yes, some man in Bob Brighton game nibi. What you say? And yes, some man in Bob Brighton game nibi. Na and come away a berry no. As a grow as a nyagro. According to Indy, who has been giving us the stories, honestly. With regard to this particular story. Yeah. Also, when we meeting, you know, now omo can't Salah say on pacho and paco chinicho. na omu move on. Salah and Pacho. Ama Matisa Talk Sports report say they get the one shot. A piano man fananka Brighton squad, no, because say SSL Pacho and a one Pacho dia and ye found encounter. Iti in some neighbor baba. So say Gerard so nana. In fact, omunyina Gerard na aka sama na toma kuma so pa obi a waka se bia Gerard di. Yami shira no. Ata so say bufo na ba but niema ni bi wo ha ne ho nyi ho kwan so ka on de waka ka ne nsem bebre. Babigi. This is where we are after the meeting. Saudi Arabia league and almost CEO Abeka Sakra Afa Mohamed Salah say Salah omu welcome no time bi okase obebia no man akwaba na emum the responsibility of the clubs and the clubs never can, of course they will negotiate. They drew no.
First of all, Bonebena Mohamed Salah into me pacho.
Ye game no na enu kwan say oye interview e kan Samboni efa club a obo enwo kira manfo.
O kan Samboni efa club now.
Of course.
Salah ka the kind of treatment on only feel say a day mano.
What ka say club no club no throw under the Barca. Say Samboni.
Is it true or not?
To Salah it is true, to the club it is not true.
What makes the club think it is not true?
Because they have not done that.
My reason for saying this is that said ye nim Liverpool na ye nim Mohamed Salah. Na ye nim treatment at Liverpool di Mohamed Salah. Na baba bedru say no. So you Mohamed Salah, definitely this is the kind of feeling that you are going to get. Menka se Salah ye nipa chain player bi o Liverpool. Menka se Salah esombroso at the chain Liverpool club no there, but that's not what I am saying. But in moments like this, our key player, our star man, just last season, when the for the Mohamed Salah, you will Liverpool in just last season, Mohamed Salah carried Liverpool on his shoulders. And yes, Omoma kana mobile, Ombobi. But single-handedly, Nipa no yet decider at the man Liverpool throughout the season was Mohamed Salah. The goals for share with Premier League mo. The goals for share with Champions League mo. It was unfortunate that Champions League no move free with them. But looking at how he was playing at a point, and your Champions League down Liverpool free mo na. Na the Barcelona didn't come across because yam fa Ballon d'Or from Mohamed Salah. Because of how he started season no. Anyhow na all. And he was consistent throughout the season. The only problem was that Champions League ne LUD no. And for such a player, no one could do that level. Could I ever a new season? Na niyaman konkain from a player not to say the previous season. Mohamed Salah Nipa, he's definitely going to feel like say, maybe Mohamed Salah, and many more ordained man me say, this is where I also need Liverpool support. Me no. Na me yedi me ye bia de ma Liverpool. Said ye be ye ni munyam beba. E di se mo ye dia ma me na niam nche da nkonkan fa ma me a. Sabre we necessary Liverpool so time echi. Yayi Mohamed Salah de na sinchen. Echi time na ohwehwe Liverpool no onyae. Again, you move on to another question. Kwagu. Salah money nkonkan na yayi Salah sinchen no. Omo body ma Liverpool e wa dim wo in place of Mohamed Salah no. Are they playing better than Salah?
For now, I must say coach na sasane tactics. Or sasane tactics no. Say Szoboszlai is playing well. It was alright.
For Szoboszlai, he's been Liverpool's best player.
Of course, and now the best player can play at where Mo Salah plays, and for now he's also playing well. They seem say now saying changing tactics, it is going on well for the coach, so they are okay.
Now say changing tactics now, including the last 2 games on my boy.
Of course, almost results now, but gameplay was okay.
Gameplay near the pair results.
Of course. It takes time.
So if they say for now it is going well.
Yeah.
Me who well now
okay.
Well now economy me who. And clearly Mohamed Salah feels to say omuni ni ye. But then again, they be a make us be at a second. It was two sides. And when you moon a work, in as much as Mohamed Salah Liverpool wouldn't you you should know that there are times that Liverpool crona almost treat you better. You more preferential treatment against certain players. Sadio Mane was a typical example. Bob and Sadio Mane more Liverpool. But at the point, Salah was one of the reasons in Sadio Mane free Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because the felt say you treat Salah ye China, even though on to kuno obi a ye be said they be a team never conquer. It is just like the Vinicius Junior situation at Real Madrid. You've had times, sir. Now we a key figure. Oh, team nimu. And now you treat 2 years. Obia. This time around, results in him. Media coach in the Mohamed Salah and men because Salah Bob will Liverpool chain and slot. But Anslot to being a coach. Kwaku. Yen na yebe jatum se Salah mode mono de no cry back up enye.
No cry.
Salah mode mono enye no. That is where Salah being a human being expects say and ka coach never backing it up. No man every kind of support or only here as a human being as a footballer. No one gets it back to the best of form. But coach need to feel the results in him go ye. At this stage, me say suddenly a moment na mahe. And we are Slot and Kasa in a way who are confused though. Eketike bo no you know film the best player and as the best attacker this season. No you know the Saka Baba be jina changing time. Ade be no the Eketike call the left flank.
Yeah.
No we Baba be jina. He's doing everything humanly possible. Say the fortunes of Liverpool versus San. No so they secure na juma. It is a okay and so one. In as much as me feel the coach in treaty Salah year no. If you put yourself in the shoes of the coach and so or also yet the all yet because of the results of person was a man.
Of course.
It's a situation that Obia Dibem.
No correct.
Salah near bonnet. And a coach is also near bonnet.
Okay.
But the true time is say I'm penny for a casa de barbato. A bit me about a born unyusime. But quite on Befasone Macasano. A mamma who say only me wandering Bonibia. Name a team near your.
But you see, and this is where Salah is also not happy that a senior player like me, you will bench me for games and you will not tell me.
How do you end up make us say, "Mene Salah ya again"?
Anyway,
because
they say no.
And Yamana enko ye no coach say or bench Salah, many coach ya again. But you have to give the player reasons why you are benching him, and the player is a human being. Oka and some no, no didn't who knows asama me coach can no cry. I am not sure Salah is going to complain.
Yeah.
It's communication
between
the two and about a problem. And then before Baba Besha Bakumu, and may sure say before Besha Salamuno. Coach in Swebe. Ufuse away mine.
Salah you be Salah or a lot of achievements I will Liverpool. In fact, exactly
even football mukrampo
into on to me can't say. By the way, anyway, let's move on. But they said it's one patch out there.
I man in Pachobia.
Oh, Biggie. Oh,
in Penifon CSM. And yes,
because we are human in Liverpool. Yamba Bonsin be can somebody for club.
Somebody bang.
Oh, it's a club neutral under the bus.
And you play. This season, Liverpool do supporters do sign and cast Salah na a problem. Na Salah and Timmy and a Salah form and a count affect Liverpool and a whole lot. Meanwhile, it started from the changes about Liverpool team with personnel on the field of play. Trent Alexander now numko. Certain players are not winning quite Salah si fast on the ball. Say Salah you will be a person by attacking spaces. It's Oman a direct pass I am one, but ball into space, you don't find the pace in Congo.
The new players do not know this.
They haven't gotten familiar with the play of Mohamed Salah. It's a
hey.
It's what a Niama winning ano and our casa poor for the diadem. And your boom now quack faba. It's a casa in Penifon from whom you don't no one says your montem, no munya copacho.
Mamenka casa ba conchiro. Kobe Mary they still on our fan wandering.
Say,
Obe free club with
100%.
Joshua Zexi, Roma Forna Casa, Matiti Asto. Him say Nancy was starting a bibo no na dwen yasesa.
So what you dey?
So person fighting for the position.
Man managing.
Big T. Or say, or she ball na or bonwa, obe two Benjamin Sesko.
Bob and on all body to be.
Into big into then and saying, there's here, Mamma.
There be you a player who has played more than a season or Manchester United or second season.
Cassisia, some Sisia.
Koku,
obeying if you were simple cry.
Sesko na ode ne toto ho e no nti ama wani da so no be gitu mu mpanifo se mfa to ho nti na prison ni wura ho nti e bia wo hwe obi e mode ma a wo bo a na wo de ahye ho nkran se wo yere ho abetimi abe ya de achen no nti no de nkanyam fom so na mom tibu kro ni league kro no wo bo more than a season wom ya wo do ho toto no no afei ne waba and in football it is assumed to be a first season be an adaptation period adaptation period watra I find out how to be a adaptation. And Manchester United and Penny for Nankasana have no more problem.
Said they.
The players that are supposed to leave the club, you want to keep them. Those whom you are supposed to keep, you want them to leave. They are just a bunch of confused people.
No, give me examples of what you're saying.
Like letting Garnacho leave. Kobe Manu is about to leave.
So you are in reference to Garnacho no Kobe Manu no quite says
they are players who are supposed to stay.
Okay.
These are young talents.
Okay.
Within a year or two, just give them the playing time. That is all they need. Okay. They say Kobe Manu Swaka. Midfielders now Manchester United they copen Adam Watson more, Elliot Anderson more, Carlos Baleba more. They are not better than Kobe Manu. The only thing football is based on current form, and they almost a better than Kobe. It is because they get playing time in their clubs.
So Nicky Batts, Paul Scholes, Ray Ferdinand, we Manchester United legends.
Yeah.
Nicky cried Paul Scholes, almost say boy no Chelsea.
And she Manchester now.
Oh, 1% almost Chelsea, Emma quite any chance, Emma Mobo. Now me cry boy no Chelsea, no go to Oh, Chelsea. Ain't what is the point on Chelsea? Go
Chelsea. Santos bench.
Santos a part bench now. Daryl Yusugu Grania Mai. Uncle Chelsea. What is the point? Ain't but almost quite and comes to Susan Uncle Chelsea. And a Ferdinand so or Tau Muchi San Sacradano. Moon send you Musi AU Suno. What as a Biana said? JJ Gabriel Modachi. Akwadano astate ma mo pressure say Arsenal Emma Max Dauman Bobo ni bi share the Leonard Carl eye or buy Munchen say clubs na kwadana start ebo akwadano Barcelona tutu egu na sum sa bro na dwen ya asesa no program te say man you for to let him stay o mo to card ya che boy no
koguna dwen se sa onko
bigi
na dwen se sa onko e mi nua no anka metu no fo se onko
Basa di oma ne
mpanyifo no nya oma dwen so mo beye niema yie e wo club ni mu e na oma gyan ni nyina de ama coach no take decisions e ho nya any decisions am faso ni so decisions are in the long term e be affect Manchester United and a coach ni taking ne but because it is today e bi oma dwen nya ma sa decisions na wo taking so Barcelona na ye di ho nkomo no today open club or ben trophy GA Manchester United are Barcelona is number 1. They are closer to winning trophies than Manchester United.
True. And of course they are winning. It's the last year cross GBB.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's right from the onset. The mubesha year you do based on trophies or budget. That is number 1. Number 2, a dear Boama player improve a constant playing time.
True.
Barcelona as we speak. You look at the young players in the folder. Hansi Flick gave more opportunity with him. And Kwadane Bama drove Fernandez Munjina Bobby.
He said, Gerard Martin.
Gerard Martin upon all the mistakes. I've been a huge critic of Gerard Martin.
Yeah.
Coach Nanya Didio Muguswa Bonwa Fei. The last 2-3 matches are about Yama Barcelona. And Yama picking him up.
Yeah.
He's playing well.
Yeah. Of course.
And this is a club I watch with track record. And yet this season, and then last season, when the likes of Lionel Messi were promoted, Sergio Busquets, Pedro, and your club was our track record. They say, "We are Quadana unimborn bonquadia, you more opportunity, my own It is our quadra to Manchester United. Nene, or shed the year in one quadani be with Tim Sibidum, Emu, our munya be bo. Any idea? Now, on guarantee of playing time, sure so Benya Biabo, I'm a net progressive year or club anymore. I could not say for Tasoko. And yes, some any dance and no be the try dance you.
No correct.
Akwadane ba no. Obehu Ghana chomo. Obehu Kobe Manumo. Treatment ben opportunity ben e dey mo team nim. Under this coach.
And I mean statistics bia. Coach is about Manchester United post Alex Ferguson. Only coach on ma kwada opportunity kra ma ni mo bo kra.
There be your money scouters as onya. Onya he.
Big Yago Barcelona. 82 games under Hansi Flick. 60 wins. Draw a 9 and a 13 losses. And then Barcelona na a free day. And so players about training in ye Pedri Ebaho, Ter Stegen, Femi Lopez, Manchesater, Dani Olmo, Ominina Beye training. Semre eniho. I think so Enzo Fernandez was a sunny agent. Say Enzo Fernandez will be represented by Elegant Game. Na unimomo say eyo wodia Javier Pastor. Former no on Matias
oh okay.
On his Matias Toranzo. Omo mienu na akwa bia say omo na be handle you know Enzo Fernandez. Fantastic.
I want check.
Oh. Boys na call PhD na dodo na I think say e bi o ha na you wrong. Pastor de oba so pa o.
Ezekiel verse no.
Okay. Kobi we use story bi Abraham say en fans anon to Oliver Bowman. Weekend in about 500 games for Hoffenheim. See your year say it sounds about 500 until say Germany is also ne be there. See Otobi mako 500 and na at the chair supporters no inti omunchutwaka so what the omunsuo ene saade no what as inti no atode am omuso omunje hwe won se no a me se no picture bi nkofo no Frankfurt for no omobu Barcelona sa glass na omode atale he sa glass way before we talk about ade na nkofo ne ye. And now no let's go Bilbao. Is it Bilbao? Now say games are Barcelona abono. Supporters ne bawa. Almost say dia Barcelona ye say bi. Enye. Away stance no. Omo the glass aje wonti wo kra wo ye deda
enko park so.
Ade we honestly me nti the nti Barcelona the glass je ho sa.
Kokunare na I didn't think I was out there.
And me twa ticket. E be hwe ball. Ma ba tina glass chi.
Ball hu ana.
Biggie into the stadium bang the way we are here and now say what the me pacho stadium bang wrestling stadium see you here top clubs
come back to that class
until me trust no until master assistant man no me say top the top 5
sports stadium
makohe
ball me makohe ball na esro ha ya ma me tena ase me hwe fa glass nim
sa se o no nim se nkofo mpe o tena you know, they say, the top ones that we see, how many of them know who say, yeah, the glass actually away stands?
Oh, another bad thing so be
means why on we
have their own reasons. And go football now, yeah, count on the sun, and I say, ye di home come on. A mafia game, Mamen Canasa.
So, yes, sir, Chinabi also could be a
buy in be.
Big glass idea.
Football is that
is
why Ubekobi who makwa bobo. Omomu training on a watery pitch. And it's Ubegugu so no ball. So they are used to that. The moment of an opponent about more Dimbiano, Ubu wanted to more water pitch and so. Said you be our opponent and away team no bebre.
And now let's go Madrid supporters. Omubu fuye say Aldena Barcelona the glass ajiwo. And Frankfurt
who be the abegu ye players.
Big stadium ka crack away. Inti o za na Frankfurt for no omoko bubu glass no. Barca for say kofo no omu betua.
Of course they have to pay.
And almost Barca for say Frankfurt o say omo Barca wo history. Omu stadium omo ha adwen. Barcelona den kramai ne police for kofa extra police for ba say mo bia amfa sa flex ni Ura stadium ho. Afei omo kohwe ya game no nkofo ni shegu a kofo na so flash inti no
net omo de share he
when ye ba wasam flex no mo so Internal Barcelona fact, I can say, I deal with the you suspect silly mark for no company they man because who for Germany, but then who corners was stadium. It's not just inside the be or they had any fetch the bro.
And go for no me put the in Chomoka. Almost a fantastic.
Oh, ya would say. Inti, almost one year him, na made story be said. What can sleep you a while? Basachi almost say, almost small girl. 8, Makumaku 8, and now Omodira. Eho. Almost one year whom fish him. And now music can mind into no Mako bribe. I didn't Marco. It's possible. It's no. Omoya and omode fetch the ma omo investigations no because omo sa de no and na video we crowd work na e train na misre Barcelona ma police for no omo nenam stance ni mu we share Frankfurt Jason out to Barcelona mo na UAP because omo se unya ticket na wahin omo yi supporters ni pie o but who supporters na the ticket chair say real ticket omo say
no
ya
ahanya otena
bia unya ne wahin because ticket e Thomas social unya social unya ne wahin pie in the round na nya sam keto so omo say limax sa workers no mo yes ane de omo form ho nche
ogo so omo hwehwem na omo timi ye bibi fa ho because unimade a memedwen it is not just about the fireflies but say be provided this amount of security and I said this number of security not yet ade mpese be rusted you mono matimi awura ho no nyame mfasa amawo say a bomber kalipa na gidi awura e
bia ne say North Africa for no be bobol e say chi omo san so be hu ane say omo de awuram.
That is what I'm saying.
That
is what I'm saying. Say, me concern here with security.
But me tell you what can I say? Yes. But to just let you know, Barcelona for nya submit omo complaint said they are my UEFA for. Omo sanso actually she mu senko for to niema and of course me hu video bisa omo to niema the bro supporters but Barcelona supporters you know.
And they speak for one year mresara. Because you were France and can talk about
it. Come on, Chumokra. Frankfurt for no class and Omo Hadri do. Omo Hadri. Inti and once story be say Samenyo any Man City agreement. Say
so we didn't get a good deal.
Obi the report me person me confirm me answer. Person me confirm me from me obvious sources, but for now, that is what I may TTBB visa. But anyway, my main story being functional now. Share the Akosua Cameroon, big Yanfa and I from the big Afcon any moisi. Says a etomo aye omo line a call up. Coach na ya pamon no same penny for so pam because our support from the government.
Yeah.
So also in the line up aba. Then first and the call up aba. The call up wa fre Andrew Nana. Etomo so de Onana county. But 3 days the etoni Onana with social media nya some ketwa. Eto se wo Onana me na be foul the call Barcelona. Onana call for no say master okra oji e kakra. Allegations so. Inti ewie omo releases the abase Onana has been caught all over. Inti say no and some no atokodo.
Koku Cameroon and some it didn't start today. This is one of the reasons in FIFA are frowning on interference when it comes to football. But Africa no ayana interference assembly kana ye ding because oko outsider Western world and the Europeans and one of my Football Association no e kadodo na kakese na omo ne ball national teams no. Omo ne funding national teams no. Enti oteki decision aban bi ntimi mem ema meka asem fofo nya de be emfa nche no. But yen ye de ne de your Football Association no enye omo e na ye den e fan clubs no.
Yeah.
E ya aban no. Enti yen ye ha sei no e be ye den se obeka se ma aban ne ma meka football asem. Abro no na ema usika de aye team no.
Ene de enye ye.
Ye nyina na ye tifie. E na ose kom do. Ene uni sika de beto aduane. E na mama usika se fa ye aduane. Na o ye aduane ni wie na nkwan ne ben na me be se bia no ma wo se breja na me kunu mpesa. Na o kunu mpesa se ka o kunu ma usika de ye nkwan. That is the situation on the African continent.
Sebo.
Aban na yi sika no ma football association ne de ye aduane no. Eti aduane ne bia won timi nkasa aban ni kwan so wasabi nom. Ana so wasabi di. Your problem I wa ha no. Cameroon they started from appointing the coach. The coach came on the ticket of the government and not the football association. Football association is coach no omo nim no enye omo na appoint no. Aban no so coach bra na be ya adwuma ye de afa wo. And a coach in a bar, and all year Juma. So, see a problem in the say, right from the onset, the coach has it at the back of his mind. Say, I was appointed by the government.
Only etomunka crowd.
Yes. And see, the entire Samuel to play the coach in the corner. Say, I no credit. On make us a level grounds. A time the toss munyansa wo mumpo.
Ono de wa pamuno.
And on America say, a toss mumpo, we didn't do the permanent toss mumpo. Coach, if you say one gas and I shall say in our own permasam. It say, a binding casam and quam mini baby. And what is going on? Open talk catch us are binding Tiana.
Oh, when I say when you dear. And
they are binding support coach now. The entire binding country coach is almost a crowd.
Go for him on begin to say
the problem in our government.
This is a cafe in your day because these things one here. It will affect
the football mother bodies and they deal with the association.
Because you say because my point is that at the end of it, you know, uncle, you know, what is here too?
Yeah.
But any to soon a coach nearby you.
Yeah.
You know, just like you just mentioned, there, in fact, CAF deals with the member association.
Yeah.
So I'm sure say list no. Eto mo de omo de ekwe. Na eto no e de list ko na ban so ka see mo iska so so nkoboy.
That is what the problem is now. Obetimi aka say chinchin a
coach no list.
Aban ni betimi aka kire say.
On say coach no onye.
Aden.
Eto mo de omo list by ono so de list de aba. Ti say you know.
Oh goku. Eti
we mo list ni nie. Eto mo list ni nie. E na ono so.
Eti
so we betimi esi wa ha.
E betimi esi. But ye de na say your football association because they respect say the government funds the national teams.
Yeah.
Into yeah there's high respect in here the Emma Abino. Say oh yeah on one German baby by your kujao.
No correct.
I don't know the Cameroonian government what they would want to do. But kwaku Abino or stubborn be catch say oh okay mate. Tournament in the Peusika Kobo. If it's in the community national team be a coach Salah UBM then I'll be.
Yes.
And only a better Africa how. And kaya di ene te sa abrofo ni di ene bi e na yan ye fund the national teams na anka ban bi ntimi meka njo se chigira fa coach we na ye nia na ye kobo playoff we ye na ye pe coach the then president Akufo-Addo his excellency at that time e ka kire ye so no di ope Otuado based on a phone call no Otuado yeah so ye person kidnap ye nya krampa ye ma won not more biom
yeah
right after that Otuado became the coach of the national team obi an obey caretaker coach. And since then, well, it's Abino will say wom. Abino will say a wom.
Nyame will say and so a wom. Inti yem fancy ebe sang so na brefufro. The next video ebe sang so